I was sitting at the bar at Wally's Velvet Turtle in Palm Springs when the barmaid Judy told me I had an urgent phone call. She hoisted the telephone onto the bar and quickly handed me the receiver. On the other end was a hysterical Christy McNichol. She was on the set of the Columbia picture Only When I Laugh. The star of the movie, Marsha Mason, and her then-husband, legendary writer-director Neil Simon, were LOTR, otherwise known as Love on the Rocks. Christy, the poor kid, was all of 19 years old at the time and said the tension was affecting production. And director Glenn Jordan wasn't about to get between Marsha and Neil. Christy knew once upon a time the three of us had been close, and I'd produced the play, The Gingerbread Lady, on which the movie was based. I hitched a ride on John Denver's Piper Cub and was on the set in L.A. the very next day. It was the spring of 1981, and as I drove through the gates of Columbia, the song Betty Davis Eyes by Kim Carnes was on the radio. Hell, it was on every radio. A huge hit, #1 on the charts. I had a personal connection to the track, as I had brief affairs with both Kim Carnes and Betty Davis in the summer of 1971. Her hair was all gold, her lips sweet surprise, her hands never cold, she's got Betty Davis eyes. Kim was a stone-cold fox. And although considerably older than me, who was going to turn down a roll in the hay with a legend like Betty Davis? I thought to myself, if you could combine those eyes and that voice, it'd be one hell of a broad. Turned out, I was right. You won't have to think twice. She's pure as New York snow. I've seen it. She's got Betty Davis eyes. I digress. Marsha needed a shoulder to cry on, but when that shoulder threatened to turn into my schwanz, I begged off and struck up a friendship with co-star James Coco. That way, I could still be around, but not make an enemy of her or Neil. Then she'll tease you, she'll unease you, all the better just to please you. She's precocious, and she knows just what it takes to make a pro blush. I'd known Jimmy's dad in Little Italy. He used to put the soles of my boots and the rubber on my capizios, back in my dancing days. She got Greta Garbo, standoff size. She got Betty Davis size. Jimmy was always hefty, but by this time he was pushing 3 bills on the scale. One day, the also rotund Buddy Haggett came to Jimmy's trailer, and over a large surf and turf lunch, we talked about dieting. Roll you like you were dice until you come out blue. She's got Betty Davis eyes. Jimmy brought up the Stillman water diet. I told him a friend of mine had tried it, and one thing's for sure, you better know where every toilet is on 42nd Street. Buddy suggested intestinal bypass surgery. Jimmy said, I heard you could lose your hair. I said, what hair? Jimmy, you're bald. As Christy had hoped, my presence brought a calming influence to the set. Marsha and Neil dialed down the animosity and reconciled for the time being for the good of the picture. It was a box office hit, but most critics thought it was awful. Who knew a Neil Simon joint could be so divisive? Knows you off your feet with the crumbs. She throws you. She's ferocious, and she knows just what it takes to make it blush. All the boys think she's a spy. By the time the Academy Awards rolled around later that year, Jimmy had released his book, The Coco Diet, and lost over 100 pounds. I thought that kind of extreme weight loss was dangerous, and I told him so. Come on, Jimmy, baby. People like a little marshmallow with their cocoa. Fat or thin, James Coco brought it. And by it, I mean his raw, frank, and honest sexuality. Jimmy worked in showbiz before there were rules. His co-stars knew the score. It was James Coco for the win, every time. She'll expose you when she blows you. X-rated version. She knows ya. Were there consequences? You bet there were, my friends. But nothing a few roses and a shot of penicillin couldn't cure. Jimmy had a policy, and it was wise just to go with the flow. Was there a way to fix it so that only his phone calls got hung up on while your phone calls worked perfectly otherwise? You wish. It's gonna be a bumpy night.